It says we're live, so
Hey,
I'm temporarily joined by Jonna.
former redhead.
Not going there.
Yeah.
Uh, Keep the lights on, keep the AC going.
My God, the air conditioning.
We got a little bit of rain last night.
And we have some cloud cover, so I don't want to punch the sunshine anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, oh, my Lord, it's been so ridiculously hot.
And King Harv's for coffee. They do good stuff. They make good coffee.
Yes, they do. You know how many murders they prevent every single day?
Yeah, a bunch.
A bunch.
And
A bunch.
speaking of murders,
Murders. Oh,
Jonna got gifted
like 25 of these.
25 surplus sewing kits.
Yes. Thank you, Carlton, I think.
I was not going to mention who it was, but
No, you blame the right people. So it's like all full of like sewing stuff and emblems.
like emblems and patches that normally get ripped off.
Yeah, and like thread and scissors. So I have 25 of them now, or something like that. But they're kind of cool. They're like little things. I may help people with them at conventions. I don't know.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Speaking of conventions, let's move on to the next thing, which is
Oh, he's got an agenda.
yes, they've done away with the military science fiction at DragonCon.
At the awards, yes.
Yay, Wokies.
But you read this on the screen. Wow, look at that.
So what we've got is best science fiction novels. Eversion by Alistair Reynolds. The Spare Man, Mary Three Names. Children of Memory, Adrian Tchaikovsky. Translation State, Anne Leckie. Knowing by Lavie Tidhar.
I don't know how to pronounce
Lavi
that.
Tidhar.
Levy? I don't know.
Yeah. The Doctor of Dr. Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia. The Icarius Plot by Timothy Zahn.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a really good book. That's terrific. But in best fantasy,
Yes.
we have The Witch King by Martha Wells. Larry getting nominated when he told people not to do it for Tower of Silence, but Larry's fans don't pay much attention. They're a contentious bunch. So
Yeah.
Then we have Babel by R.F. Kuang, Trees, Trust of the Emerald Sea. Oh, that's a good one too. Into the Vortex, that's Brandon Sanderson, you guys know. But this one I really like. Into the Vortex by Charles Gannon, who I have to tell you, in any other time in science fiction would have like 6 Hugos.
Yeah.
The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake.
Yep.
Yep. And those ones are the ones better. But the best one, scroll down.
I'm getting there.
Okay, is category 6. Category 6.
Best illustrative cover.
Yes.
Ashes of Man by Kieran Yanner. River of Ashes by Sam Sheridan. But Not Broken by Cedar Sanderson.
Oh, and Titan Mage, which is H.P. Hollow's book.
Yeah.
Covers.
Apocalypse by Jackson Toya.
Um,
Tower of Silence by Kurt Miller.
which is gorgeous.
And Wraithbound by Jeff Brown.
Yeah, so that one's a hard category because there's like 3 people in there we'd really love to have win.
Yeah.
So, but
Cedar most of all.
Cedar most of all. So, this is kind of important. And if people think they can't vote, they can. You can go register to vote. And we're like, go vote for Cedar.
Yeah.
Go vote for Cedar. Because
Not that we're parochial or anything.
Well, but here's the thing. One of the things I like about this list, this year in particular, is it's got a spread across the entirety of science fiction. It's not just one side or the other. It's got something from
everybody.
I mean, I don't like Mary Three Names writing. I really don't. I mean, I just find it kind of stilted and not that great. But the list that's up there is across the spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's good. And by the way, here.
One more picture.
Cedar. Is this not the most stellar cover you've ever seen? This is a stellar cover.
And I like the back, too.
I like the back. Well, of course you would. Here's the back. Oh, look, it's Courtney. So now I can leave.
See right there.
No, we just listed off the dragon. No, I have to move because I have work to do. But with Cedar.
Cedar, yes.
We were just talking about the Dragon Awards and how they crossed the whole spectrum this year.
Oh yeah.
They're not tilted one way or the other, which is fabulous. And I'm moving now.
Yeah.
Although I'll be honest, having to decide between Larry and Chuck Gannon, I'm not.
I know. God, how do you do that? Chuck actually, I mean, because Larry's like, don't give it to me. He's very clear.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna vote for Chuck.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna vote for Chuck because Larry told me to.
Yeah.
Or at least Larry told me not to vote for him, and that's my other choice of everybody that's on that list so far.
Yeah, Larry can't even organize a slate against himself. Yeah. Oh. Oh.
No, that is definitely not me on the back of that cover.
Yeah.
It's a
And,
lovely picture.
I got to give a shout out to another sailor who's writing, also in Texas, Fred Hughes. Fred basically went through the same thing I did, submitted a story. It didn't get accepted for an anthology. And he went, yeah, I can do this. So much like what John Van Stride has done, the short story is now turned into a book, which is turning into a series.
Very cool.
So it's called Battle of Chasers Rock, the first Solar War story. It's going to be a new series for Fred Hughes out of Dallas. And he's a good guy. Other than the fact he's an ex-submariner, yeah,
Eh,
but he's an air. He's at least Navy. Yeah. By the way, Larry says we can do what we like since we nominated anyway.
yes, I am feeling better. Thank you.
So the there are some interesting goings on behind the scenes in various sundry places. Yep. Yeah, fat fingers there, Jesse.
Mhm.
Oh, not P. We had an American Legion meeting last night. Had about 45 people there. And at one point, something came up about the women's national soccer team. And I will use the term loosely, informal poll was that nobody bothered even watching.
Yeah, most people don't.
And there was nobody that gave a rat's ass that they lost. And
They
one-
played Sweden, right?
They lost to Sweden in the penalty. And one of the women actually said something that struck me rather interesting. She said they're not likable.
No, they're mean and awful.
Yeah, and she's a veteran, and she was talking about the girls in the 90s and early 2000s.
Mhm.
Mia Hamm and
Oh, what was her? Yeah, they were fun.
Brandy Chastain.
They enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
They were obviously enjoying what they were doing.
They enjoyed what they were doing. They were patriotic. I mean, hell, Mia Hamm's first marriage was to a Marine of all things.
You can't blame her for taste, but
Yeah.
you know,
But they were patriotic. They had fun. They enjoyed what they were doing. And they didn't have political agendas. They just went out and had fun.
Mhm.
And that was the thing that she was stressing is the women today all have an agenda. They've had an agenda since they came on the team. And Brandy Chastain gave us fan service. Yes. It was very much a, obviously political. And there was an article written by somebody that one of the other ladies found that basically said, oh, well, the reason they're not liked is because of right-wing politics.
no, it's because they're awful and
Yeah.
They obviously we enjoy watching people who enjoy doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they may enjoy playing the game, but they have pushed that aside.
Yeah.
To be spokespeople for an agenda that nobody gives a shit about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the other ladies, who's damn near my age, asked a rather interesting question.
Mhm.
How did Rapinoe even get on the field? Because apparently her granddaughter is either high school or college soccer
Mhm.
player. And she point blank said, she says, my granddaughter plays better than Rapinoe does.
Mhm.
Was she there because it would have been politically incorrect to take her off the field.
Oh, I suspect that if they take her off the field, take her off the team, that they'd have a heck of a lawsuit on their hands. They don't
Yeah.
have the money to cover.
Anyway, as far as our little group at the Legion was concerned, it was 40 some odd to 0 against them, which quite frankly is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did get their ass kicked by a high school male team back in 2017.
Yep.
So that is not a joke. That actually happened.
Mhm.
The other thing I ran across, and this one is a funny, not funny, recruiting. When Biden took office, there was this big thing put out by SecDef about they wanted to get rid of any extremist in the recruiting program.
Okay.
So they came up with this set of forms that you had to fill out for gang affiliation, extremist groups, fingerprinting, yada, 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 tattoos, and what they meant.
Right.
Right. Well, guess which services didn't follow that?
All of them?
The Navy did.
Oh.
Everybody else didn't because they couldn't meet the recruiting goals.
Okay.
41% of the recruits were not asked about their ties to extremist groups or gangs. Recruiters did not administer the screening forms in 40% of the cases where they should have, and did not complete either tattoo screenings or fingerprint checks in 9% of the applicants.
They knew they'd fail.
And in one case, recruiter didn't initiate a background investigation, which should have been done. Makes you wonder what that kid did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might have been a top player back in her day, but at 38, no. Yeah, USMC met their goals. Army did not. Air Force did not. Navy did. And the Navy recruiters, thank God I never pulled that set of orders, understand that they're going to be in close contact with those people day in, day out. If you're on a ship, you can't get away.
No.
You're going to have to put up with that son of a bitch for 6, 9, 10 months to a year. We used to have a saying, wait a year, either you'll leave or they'll leave. Submariners, it's even worse because now you're really packed in together.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom says, nothing new. One of my guys in my basic platoon was hauled off by the marshals for federal warrants that predated the enlistment. Yeah. At least they got him in basic. Yeah, Dan, they did it for a little while until it got made public, and all of a sudden that went away. Yeah, Padre, go to the infantry or go to jail. Used to work. Sometimes it was go to the Marines because if you want to kill things, the Marines will let you do that. Yeah, it differs. When the closest land is 4 miles straight down. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be able to stay on the boat.
Yeah. Although there have been a few cases where people might have fallen off the boat in the middle of the night, not been found.
I would imagine close enough quarters that some things happen.
Yeah. A friend of mine was the chief of the boat on a submarine, boomer, and was standing watch, middle of the night, middle of nowhere. As they did, as he said, 4 dots to nowhere. And he was a diving officer because they multiple qualified. And he said he's sitting there and he's halfway nodding off. And hell, I'm going to light a cigarette. And he couldn't get his lighter to light. And he's, the hell? And he gets up and he looks, and both of the kids driving the boat on the planes are head down, sound asleep, or passed out. He looks around, the officer of the deck slumped over. He staggers over and looks at the concentration of oxygen and realizes that it's down to 14%.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So he cracks the appropriate valve to get the O2 back up. And everybody kind of wakes up, and they start asking rather pointy questions,
As one should.
as one should. Well, now this is in addition to the fact that they are running out of food. They've already run out of peanut butter,
Oh no.
and there's an issue with toilet paper.
That seems less than ideal.
Because it's kind of hard. So they Connor the Chop, and the Chop for some reason had a private stateroom on the boat, which is very unusual. And yeah, Dan Gunny put him at the front of the unit when the landing barge ramp drops, and everybody in front of him is a bad guy.
Fair. There's a way to handle it.
So they Connor the Chop find out he's got a stash in his room:
Mm-hmm.
peanut butter, crackers, 2 rolls of toilet paper, and he had gotten his butt chewed by the CO for going over on the last purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So you also have to buy O2.
Oh dear.
So what he was doing was he was cranking down the O2 so he didn't use all of it, and was bitching at the crew about eating too much food. They might have cut their patrol a few days short
Seems like a good idea.
and did not come home first, went somewhere else, kicked this guy off and got a resupply, and then came home. But he said basically, had he not tried to light a cigarette, he said, good chance that boat would have sunk because they would have all been unconscious.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
fast way to kill everybody.
Yep.
Jesus.
And apparently that pork chop was no longer in the Navy by the time they got back home, which was 2 weeks later.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Keel hauling would have probably been too good for him. Besides which, on a submarine, you tend to get them caught in the ballast tanks when you try to yank them up. Because the ballast tanks don't have any bottom doors on them. They're open to the water. Which is one of the reasons the submarines are so paranoid about turning over. Because if they turn over, they go to the bottom and cannot be recovered. Which is even more fun when you're doing a high-speed turn in a submarine. Because just like a boat, they lean into
Lean
the
into
turn,
the turn. Oh yeah, no that.
except they lean away from the turn.
Okay,
As they turn, they lean away.
so they're not filling their.
It's like going around a curve with your car, and the curve being biased to the outside, not the inside. Yeah. Now, Greg, he was apparently BCD'd. Yeah, like bad camera. That's exactly right. But literally, if you roll one past about 45 degrees, it'll keep right on going because all the air spills out of the ballast tanks, and she just rolls over and goes to the bottom. Ford Bronco 2. Well, if it was a Ford Bronco 2, it had a death rattle and wiggle almost as bad as a Jeep does. Yes, Ag, there is a stocking formula, and he did ignore it because there was an issue of cost. Some things went up, some things went down.
As happens, but
The other thing you got to understand on a submarine, when you load out, you're actually stacking extra food in the passageways with bricks and with plywood over them. And there are 3 or 4 layers of food, canned food, stacked in the passageways. So when you first get on the boat, you're basically ducking your head to walk down a passageway, which is maybe that wide. I mean, 2 people cannot walk by each other shoulder to shoulder. One person has to turn sideways. Usually both people turn sideways.
mhm.
Ooh, you pogoed it? I'm not even going to ask how you did that, Michael. I would like to have an old original Bronco, but with a updated engine in it. And here we go with the tires. No, they can't, Cameron. I mean, I used to be skinnier, much skinnier than I am now. And literally, when I'd go on a boat, it was literally you turn sideways and pass each other that way.
I'm not claustrophobic. That could make me claustrophobic. But oh,
Well, the bunks would have been even worse.
yeah, because you can't turn over on the top ones, right? Like you have to lay flat, or am I missing?
Well, you can kind of turn over if you work at it, but even the officer quarters on a submarine are small.
Yeah.
The bunks are 6 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
They're 36 inches wide, and they're about 30 inches between them. And that's the width of your compartment you share with 2 other people.
Mm-mm.
And you have a fold-down sink.
Y'all are crazy. I'll just say that's y'all are crazy.
Literal sardines, smell included. Not as bad as a diesel boat. Diesel boats were worse. Yeah, Brian, I actually looked at one of those, and they wanted $140,000 for it. I don't have that in spare change. Hey, Tom, you think that's bad? I put a former U.S. Navy officer who was 6'3" and 230 on a Japanese diesel for a week. Yeah, he was not liking life when he came back because he couldn't even get in the rack on a Japanese diesel. When he went aboard at Kure, I went down there with him, and the Japanese skipper looked up at him and went, "Oh, you big, submarine small." He volunteered.
I don't think he would have volunteered if he knew the size of the boat.
I don't think he'd have volunteered if he knew it was a Japanese boat, not a U.S. boat, because we had to change boats. Four-peak and commercial fishing boats is even worse. Yeah. You don't get into the four-peak. You kind of stuff yourself in there. Yes, Tom, he was. But, the thing is, talking about tires goes back to the Pinto and the Firestone 500 tires. For those of us that are old and remember that. Because A, the Firestone 500s used to blow out. And B, if you hit a Pinto in the ass, it usually exploded. So,
Seems like a winning combination.
it was winning for some people. And it was cheap.
Cheap is sometimes important.
Yeah. The irony was that one of the best hot rods back in the 70s
Mhm.
was a BMW 2000 Tii,
Okay.
which had the same problem. If you hit it in the ass, it tended to blow up. But people would go find those things and buy them
Hmm.
and then put a racing gas tank in them.
Oh God.
I mean, literally spend, even in those days, close to $1,000 to have a racing gas tank built that would fit in that car because they loved it so much.
Just don't hit in the ass. I mean, can't get fresh with that car.
Yeah, big block Pinto swaps are. We built a Pinto dragster drag racing car in Hawaii in the early 70s with a Ford pickup truck motor in it. One of the big 6 cylinders.
Same, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. And, this is a bunch of bored sailors over at the hobby shop. Yeah, the old 300 inline 6. I want to say it was 300 odd cubic inches. And we had a rather interesting cam that we got from Lunati and some other interesting parts, and put a Holley 754 barrel on it, and had a automatic that had some work done on the internal clutches and the valving, and a narrowed forward 9-inch rear under the back of it. And we took it up to Campbell, which was the race course drag strip about 2 miles from the base, and got up to the line. First time we made a pass with it, revved it up, held the brake, got off the brake, stomped on it, and rolled about 10 feet with a loud clattering
God.
because we had sheared the drive shaft. So we drug it off, drug it back to the base, literally drug it back to the base after having to climb under it and take the rest of the drive shaft out. And one of the kids worked in the ground support equipment shop and found a set of U-joints out of one of the big tugs.
Found.
Yeah, found.
Fair.
So, we're beating and banging trying to get them in there. Well, we finally got them in, but then the drive shaft couldn't turn completely because it was hitting the body. So we had to cut the strip out of the floor pan
Oh God.
so the U-joints could actually turn in the back of the car. Oh, well, we had fun with it. Yeah, I'd love to see that Ranchero, Brennan. That's an unusual setup.
I had a 1980 Blazer that I drove specifically for marching band because we could fit all of the instruments in the back and half of the flutes in the back seat. Like flute players, they were all about this big.
I was gonna say.
And it was fun. But it was like 1980 Blazer that had a slow oil leak, and it would catch on fire every now and then. So that was fun.
Yeah, 63 factory 260 and a 4-speed. Yep. The last company vehicle my dad had before he died was a 57 Ranchero. And before that, it was a 56 F100 pickup. And so either one of those is on my, if I ever find it and can afford it list, I'm going to buy it. Oh, 78 and a half Morocco with a 351. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, Wally, did she get alcohol poisoning, or did you let her off before that? Oh dear. Damn.
Yes, I did, Brennan. The rancheros and El Caminos were basically trucks with a car body on them. That's all they were. Oh, Fiat 850 Spider convertible. Yep, you were cool.
That is cool.
Band geeks and alcohol. I think it's a requirement.
I think the yeah. You get bored. You're on the road. Yeah, no, it's.
I love that, Michael. UW band had a state trooper assigned to minimize out of state issues. That would work.
Yeah, the best, honestly, the best way to smuggle alcohol or anything was to take the tuba with you, because you could fit like 4 down the. Yeah.
Injected oranges.
Oh, water bottles filled with vodka or
Yeah.
lemons. Yeah.
And it's even worse with military bands. Trust me.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Well, half the marching bands I was in, half of us were underage, so we had to hide it anyway. Okay, so I had a sousaphone, and under the barrel you could actually, like when it was laid in the case, you could actually hide like 3 or 4. But my full size tuba, I could fit 3 bottles down the actual bell. So not that I did ever. We just tried it to see if it fit.
Supposedly, also 7 oranges would fit down the bell of one.
Yeah, that would work.
He said the guy playing it just had to remember not to dip too far,
Mhm.
otherwise, thunk. Dark rum looks like Coke. Yeah. Oh, you were flying, Richard. Of course, that was also back in the day when you could get up to speed on certain stretches of highway in certain locations, especially if you knew the highway well.
Mhm. My dad and uncle used to tell stories about taking their dad's car, because he would buy decommissioned police chasers.
Yeah. Interceptors.
Yeah, and they would take it down long stretches in Colorado and like get airtime.
Oh, yeah.
See what
My best ever run was, never did the Cannonball. I would love to have done it. In 95 Impala SS that I'd done some work to, and was headed to California, and was going to stop and see a friend who was a ranger out in El Paso. And when he finally got back in touch with me, he was in Dallas because he'd just done a Pulitzer transfer. So we met up at a truck stop on the west side of Fort Worth.
Mm.
And he had a 9C1 police car. So he and I made a run to El Paso in 5 hours. It was 541 miles.
He was hauling.
And that included stopping for gas.
Damn.
And he called me on the radio once, and he said, "You pass me one more time, I'm going to let you get the goddamn ticket." Because he could only do 139.
Only.
And I could do a little bit better than that. There was a reason that there was a sticker on the dashboard that said, "Roll windows up before you get to 140 miles an hour."
So you were flying.
We had a guy that didn't.
Oh no.
And hit 140 and blew the back window out of his Impala. Just boop, gone. Well, that's the car that Ian loved as a police car. Was that old 9C1?
I believe it.
Oh, Anchorage to Woodburn, Oregon. driving from Anchorage in 2,700 miles, you did a hell of a run. I left, when I retired in 92, I left California at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I pulled into Florida 48 hours later. So I made it in 2 days into Coral Gables, Florida. Yeah. Yeah, the aerodynamics of some of the older cars was always interesting. My first car was a 63 Corvair Spider, Monza Spider. And Grandpa and I did some work on it to get the front rear balance to 49.51. And about 85 miles an hour, the front end would start bouncing. And I could take a steering wheel and spin it and keep going straight.
That that must have been interesting.
I was a kid. I was stupid. Never thinking about what would have happened had that thing happened to touch down when I had the wheels canted all the way.
I'm glad you never did because,
Sheer luck.
yeah.
But yeah, we used to hot rod everything. And I have a friend out on the East Coast. They still have in the family a 1964 and a half Mustang, 260 automatic air. The car's been restored twice. It's absolutely stunning. And that's the old car. The new car is the 66 Mustang that sits next to it. Stafford, Virginia to Great Falls, Montana, pulling a flatbed. Yeah. 147 miles an hour, and the steering does tend to get a little squishy. Yep.
I can imagine.
Yeah. West Virginia to St. Augustine in 2 days. On 95, you're not going to do it. You simply can't run 95 like you used to. Phoenix to LA in 4 hours without even trying. Yeah. That's definite possibility.
There's nothing on that road. It's straight and flat, and I mean, you're contending with all the truck drivers, but there's not any of them.
Yeah, that was that was back in the day when we could do that in one day. Not anymore. Yeah, the Autobahn in Germany. There's nothing worse than being in a BMW and you're running around 200 clicks, so about 120 miles an hour, and you get passed by something red. And you go, wonder what the hell that was. Because it literally went by us so fast, we don't know what it was. Yeah, the new Cannonball records set during the lockdown are going to be hard to beat. Yes, they are. Yeah, we were young and dumb before the internet and cell phones. Yeah, I can do RK. I'm good for 8, maybe 9 hours. Then I gotta stop. I just can't do it anymore. Yeah, now we play free school bumper cars.
Oh my God. Yeah, that makes me crazy, quite frankly.
Yeah, Cameron, if it was red, it was probably Italian. If it was German, it was probably would have been gray. Yeah. I'll talk about motorcycles. One of my neighbors was a trooper who was a motor officer and had gone from Harleys to BMWs when BMW gave their department new motorcycles to test, quote, quote, as police interceptors. And he said he was out on the interstate and this guy in a Ferrari goes screaming through. And he said it didn't even register on the top end of the radar. It was so fast.
Jesus.
So he, comes out behind it, He said, the guy slows down a little bit. He's actually catching him. And he said, and it was getting kind of hard to stay on the bike. He said, my feet kept trying to slip off the pedal. And he said, and then I looked down and realized I was doing 150 miles an hour. And he says, and I shit right then, right there. Cranked it down, turned around, and went home. Changed my pants and went back to work.
You're not beating that.
He said, not a Harley. He said that Harley would barely get to 100.
Mm.
We're passing, seeing one Topolino passing another. So they were doing about 45 and 50. Yeah, go vote, Sean. It's an important election in Ohio today. Apparently, they're expecting, one quote that I heard was gubernatorial level turnout.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me see if I can remember what that was. Substantially harder for voter-led initiatives to be proposed and approved, i.e., make it more difficult to amend the Ohio Constitution with significant ramifications for abortion rights. So, yes, very important election in Ohio today.
Interesting.
Everybody in the graveyard vote 5 times. Any election is always important, regardless. Yes, that is very true. Sadly, people don't seem to realize that anymore. They don't.
Mm-mm.
They only vote when it's convenient for them.
A lot of them don't see the point.
Yeah, that's probably why Ben's not on here, because he's working the election up there today.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Hunsinger is good folks. Harley Fat Boy doing 85. Oh, that was a fun ride, RK. Yeah, vote every single time, because if nothing else, I'm going to cancel some son of a bitch on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
Vote for the criminal of your choice. There was an election in Denver one year. It was the one and only time I ever voted for the Green Party, because the incumbent was running unopposed, essentially, and she only won 95% of the vote that time. She awful, needed to be gone, but had been in the system for so long that you could not get her out with dynamite.
I think dynamite would work. Oh, dang. Frank's going to be drinking now.
She's the one who voted against Christmas. So,
What?
Yeah, she voted against recognizing Christmas on the floor
The fuck?
because it was it was a religious holiday.
So
Oh.
does she bear any resemblance to a certain actor who chewed the scenery and was saying things like, "Uncancel Christmas"?
Not nearly as good looking.
I was going to say, I mean, hello.
I would have let him get away with it. No, she's awful.
Oh, my Lord.
Completely awful.
Jim, how's your anthology doing for the library?
I need
Yes.
more stories.
Okay.
Okay.
Due the end of the month, oil field, 1890s, 1930s, would prefer Texas. We'll take from anywhere. Does not have to be about the rigs. It can be a love story. It can be a romance. It can be love story, romance, similar things. Maybe. Noir.
Not all love stories are romance.
That's
I mean, sometimes it's, yeah. Anyway.
That's a long conversation.
that's
That's different.
that's in y'all's ballpark, not mine.
We've hit it a couple times on the broadcast, so
Yeah.
go look at the romance.
50
thread.
Shades of what? Yes.
50 Shades of Oil. So because it does come in various shades.
Yeah.
That's
does.
true. So
It also tastes differently depending on.
yeah, it smells different thickness, different viscosity. Yeah, it's like Argentina has very sludgy oil.
Yeah.
The when
Venezuela.
yeah, they don't have sweet oil that's easy to process. So
Yeah.
why do I know that?
I know Courtney
Because
does
you've
not have a
listened to
sleep
us
crush.
talk enough.
Well, actually, I was reading something about oil supplies. Whatever, things you learn from X, also known as Twitter.
Mhm.
In other news, All Will Burn closes at the end of the month.
Yes.
Do you want to describe All Will Burn?
So All Will Burn is stories about things you would do to protect and take care of our children. They do not have. There are probably going to be a lot of very intense stories. They do not have to be sad or violent. It can be funny. It can be interesting. The dad who sits down for a tea party with because their daughter's friends didn't show up, or
But I like violent.
you can write a violent story. It just doesn't
I
have
am.
to be violent.
I mean,
Yes, and I'll be reading for those shortly, but it closes at the end of the month.
mhm.
So that's it's looking to be a good anthology from what people have been talking about. So
Yeah.
and-
Mikado, the humble oil field stakes of money.
Mikado, sign your contract and send it back.
Yeah.
Go look at your email. You're slowing me down. So, in other news, we already Moggy's 2 is closing at the end of the month,
yes.
which is kind of already full. So go ahead and keep submitting because Moggy's 3 will be coming for sure.
yes.
And second of the Spurgle Chronicles, What Happened is open and closing at the end of September.
Right.
Oh God!
So
Have you
it's-
read Kelly's new?
Oh my lord. Yeah.
So he and I both got Spurgles in.
Yes, you did. You did. That's hilarious. So, also Space Cowboys, which you're currently reading stories.
I'm currently reading for Space Cowboys 3, and 3 and 4, quite frankly, because there's enough that
There will be 5 and 6.
there will be 5 and 6. So there are a couple that actually have had similar themes. So they're not going in the same book. So if you wrote something that was similar to what I have in 3, you might be in 4, just because I'm not putting the same story in one book.
Yeah, but
But yeah, there's going to be 5 and 6. So please keep writing the Space Cowboy stories. They're my favorites.
she's been
Wallbanger,
laughing.
if you're over 3, put them up yourselves. 99 cents. Sell them.
Yeah, and
Make money.
don't give up hope because, quite honestly, we're trying to get better at when we know we've got the second one coming. We're going to start contracting those early because, and that way people aren't waiting so long to find out because it's just not fair to hold a story for 6 months
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not say anything. So if we know and we've got like Moggy's 2 is all set,
Mhm.
I'm just going to start, sending contracts and saying everybody who's got stuff in, you're still up for 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
because it's waiting forever is not. I mean, too many other publishers do that, and I don't want us to have that reputation.
Yeah.
I just as soon as we know,
Yeah.
we need to kick that out. So
Have a good one, John. Thanks for the posting that you put up over the
the Proscraft folks.
Proscraft
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Return of the Bookaroo is number 3. We're still working on the title for book 4 for Space Cowboys 4. And again, there's gonna be 5 and 6, so we're gonna have to work on titles for those. But yeah, and I'm trying to get better about reading through and letting people know where they're sitting and what's going on because there's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And it's like John was saying, it's not fair to sit on your story for 6 months without letting you know what's going on. So we're getting better at that. Promise.
And my muse is doing its normal thing and jumping from place to place to place to place.
Has it landed on any of the stories you still need to write?
Huh?
You said you had 4 short stories you had to write this month
And a novel.
and a novel.
So I actually got about 1,000 words on the novel last time.
Excellent.
Got that one started.
it's like dealing with recalcitrant children, isn't it?
5,000 words on one short story, about 1,000 on another one.
All right.
So I'm getting there.
Making progress. That's good.
Yeah. Texas read up. Yeah. Next
So-
weekend, we will be in San Antonio.
Is that coming up that soon?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, not this weekend, but next weekend. We'll be there the 19th.
oh, that's right. Okay.
For,
Supporting Rob Hampson and Sandra Medlock.
Oh, there's a bunch of writers going to be there. So
Mhm.
Yeah, and we'll be selling some books. Rob actually has an official signing at Barnes & Noble.
Mhm.
We will have an unofficial signing and sell at
Yeah, Sandra did a whole post on all the authors that are going to be
Yeah.
there.
yeah, we'll be spreading that about. I just have to go
Mhm.
grab it. Some of us need to grab it and stick it on our various
Yeah.
pages. So,
Yeah.
at Chewy's, which is not the same Chewy's as up here, different one.
which may be changing because it's been so hot.
Yeah.
So
And then their version of Nauticon will be Saturday night and Sunday.
Nancy wants to know when our next postcard challenge is. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing,
It's ongoing
challenge.
challenge. The next official challenge where we were sending out postcards will be for Pecan.
Yeah.
And that's in September. Yeah, that's so we're not doing a Nauticon for this.
No.
It's a Nauticon. We're not doing. We're
No.
going to go and hang out and sit and drink and talk to
Drink.
the people.
We're gonna drink.
Yeah.
Or
Mostly
we could
drinking.
drink.
There will be drinking.
No, we'll be drinking.
And they have finally come around to our way of thinking. And now they're just saying they're the Southern troublemakers and we're the
They're the
North Texas troublemakers.
troubleshooters. They're calling themselves the troubleshooters. So,
I wish they'd make up their damn mind.
well, we are not in control of that.
No,
Fix it, fix it.
like,
Arcade.
like we could control anything. We,
Send more livers for the weekend. Livers would be appreciated, especially ones in working condition.
yes, yes, we've got the Southern troubleshooters and the Hill Country Rough Riders.
Yes.
And I like the way you guys spelled that. That's awesome.
Yes.
And as RK says, they are a division of the North Texas troublemakers.
So that's Stithers.
No, Kermit, that's a different group that we are not associated with.
No. Dithering is not something we do here. So, anyways, I think that was all the book stuff I had to tell you guys about. Moggies. Oh my God. Moggies.
Oh my
is
God,
selling
Moggies.
like crazy. Moggies in space is just like selling like gangbusters, guys.
Yes.
So,
What differ? One pack of cardstock, $15, 6 for $161. Common Core math? No shit, Common Core math.
They expect you not to be able to do math.
it's like tip suggestions on restaurant things. It's like,
Yeah,
that
it's
is
like-
not 20%.
20%
That's like
is
36%.
this. No, it's not.
So,
Speaking of which, where in the hell are they coming up with wanting to tip a friggin' machine?
you tell me.
They set up the option, and I don't understand, but
I don't get it.
I am not going to tip a damn machine.
No.
Anything.
I may tip it over.
Yeah.
I may tip it back. But I'm not going to tip it.
Yeah.
with
wait to make money. No. Yes, the Moggies and Space stories were wonderful, and you guys submitted
Yeah.
some wonderful stories.
Oh my God, she was laughing. Well, okay, Rita.
Rita was laughing.
So round 2, there's a story in there that Rita could barely get through without like just howling with laughter. So I'm really looking forward to that one coming out. So
Mhm.
Thanks, Ag. We do appreciate your pushing it over the Ace of Spades. Anything going forward always helps. And the at least the ones that I'm involved with, both Twisted Tropes and my latest Mill Sci-Fi diversions are up over 50 reviews. So I appreciate that.
Excellent.
And they're climbing. I'm staying around 4.7, 4.8 on the reviews, which don't worry, tip to 25% of the machine, pay 30 miles. Yeah. No skills demand high skill pay. No. Actually, that's one of the problems with the NDAA this year is the Democrats do not want to pay the equivalent of minimum wage to the young military people.
yeah.
Yeah.
They want to keep them below subsistence wage. Thanks, Mikado. He says he signed it and we'll send it once this is over.
Thank you.
There we go. Very
Every
important.
little bit helps.
Mhm.
Well, just get ahead of my paperwork. So
Mhm. I'm getting caught up from last month.
yes.
Yeah, please stay up with the paperwork. Some of us have to live near Jonna and hear her a couple of times a week.
Yeah, it's like, God, you guys. I had somebody, it's like 2 weeks in, I was waiting from them, and I finally just sent them a note saying, apparently you have no interest in being involved in this particular publication, so we'll remove you from the book. And then suddenly they answered, it's like, well, I had a migraine. It's like, I don't give a shit about your health issues. Be professional, I mean, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks in, I guess we're done. So
Square root of 69. Yeah. Oh,
that's okay.
God, we're not going to go into the bad old jokes. There are enough bad new jokes.
No.
No.
So
Oh, the other thing that popped up, one of the guys mentioned last night, is this thing, because his brother is in California, where California is trying to pass this new requirement on pork producers.
oh yeah. Their Chinese overlords must not own all the pork production there yet.
Yeah.
So
But they want to make it where every hog has 24 square feet of space.
they were trying to ban in Oregon during the height of COVID, when we had so many other things of larger importance. A bill actually made it to the legislature floor about banning the serving of bacon in any public cafeteria facility, including prisons.
What?
Because bacon is bad for you. And they wanted it to be meat substitutes as opposed to, because pigs should not be slaughtered. I'm like, well, okay. But that was the most important thing that they had to talk about on the floor of the legislature in Oregon, when a third of businesses were going out of businesses, and just like, that's what they were chatting about.
If I were a pork producer in the United States, if California passed that, I would say, fine,
Go somewhere else.
go somewhere else. You're not
Mhm.
getting any of my product.
I just can't imagine. I can't fathom.
I'm sorry, but even the hippies in downtown Eugene were against that one because of maple bacon donut bars from Voodoo Donuts. They were like, what
Right?
are you talking about? So, but this is the wisdom of our supposed elites. So,
Yeah, RK, if they can figure out how to buy their $6 a gallon gasoline, which is coming again.
Oregon finally got permission to pump their own gas.
They had
And
how-to
they were like-
videos.
And they were doing how-to videos for the people in Oregon. And I will tell you, all of Eastern Oregon was like, y'all are stupid.
I can't.
I know. And now it was like, oh my God, I won't have to sit in my car and wait for 20 minutes for somebody to shamble out with their
Oh my
blue
God.
hair from the convenience store to take their time to pump gas for me. I can just do it myself now. So it'll cause unemployment for people who should have been unemployed a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I might
Shipping
have an opinion having come from there.
Oh, that's a good one, Brennan. Your grandmother shipped pre-cooked bacon
my
to
God.
you in a Muslim country. It's a good thing you didn't let anybody else know, because they would have killed you for that bacon. Trust me. I have been in that part of the world, and turkey bacon and beef bacon suck. And you don't even want to think about chicken bacon. No.
Ew.
Chicken sausage is bad enough.
Well, some chicken sausage can be really good, because I had some when I was down in Louisiana, but that's because they know how to do sausage there.
Right.
And it was stellar.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a replacement.
No, it's not. And half the meat substitutes I'm allergic to anyway.
Yeah, it's like,
Yay.
Well, with this new vat grown meat,
No. Ew. Evil. Gross. I mean,
it's real meat.
no. I wanted to have lived in a field and eaten things. So,
I need something to process my vegetables.
exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be forced to have a salad, I'm going to have it through
As a
something.
So, vegetables are what food eats.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with you, RK. I won't I won't buy the pre-cooked bacon. It's flat.
I just, yeah, no,
Yeah, beef bacon done right. It's called teriyaki. Yes.
absolutely.
If it's the only thing you can get,
Wally,
pre-cooked
we
bacon's
need to
work.
chat. If you think beef bacon can be very good, I will argue that point with you.
I don't know. It's just, if people just want to grow and eat that shit themselves, they can.
Yeah.
But insisting that I do it too, it's like,
No.
stay in your own goddamn kitchen.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah, we actually did. You talking about seasoning? I was supposed to be at the house to host the watermelon that Rita was gracious enough to bring back.
It was delicious.
Oh, shut up!
We
But
left you some.
they left you. I didn't even go over because I can't eat it, which is very sad. So,
we had a post meeting, so we were cooking supper last night, and we did chicken fried steak, green beans, and mashed potatoes.
oh, yum.
So I did the green beans with bacon fat, onions,
Hmm.
bacon bits, and a little bit of seasoning. And everybody afterwards was going, "That was good. Those beans were really good." And myself and one of the other guys looked at the third guy that was cooking and went, "See," because all he'd done was empty the number 10 cans into the pan.
Oh, no, that's just a
No.
base. Even those of us who do not cook even know that's good. So,
Mhm.
Full chicken and mixed vegetable stew with tortillas. I'm good with that as long as cauliflower is not involved.
Agreed.
I like.
Cauliflower's evil.
You know what? I will eat the cauliflower so you guys don't have to.
Please do.
Good.
Okay, so you guys have that. You eat all the watermelon,
Mhm.
and I'll take care of the cauliflower.
Deal.
This is a
See,
good trade.
trade. You have to have a wide variety to cover all the bases. So that way, no food goes to waste.
And I think we have that.
And lima beans, anybody else can have the lima beans. I am not interested. Mom used to serve the can of mixed vegetables,
Yeah.
and there was always like 2 lima beans. And it was like, please when she loads up my plate, because Mom was like cleaning your plate
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
person. Please, I don't want the lima bean, and invariably I would get the lima bean. And you can't hide it because it's big, and I despise lima beans. So
I like lima beans, butter beans. Yeah.
yeah, well, you can have them because I hate them. So
All right. Well, we've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Oh shit, we have. Oh, crap.
Thank you very much for sticking with us. Death poison to you too, Kermit.
yeah, Kermit, you and we can stand over in the corner and eat like fresh peaches or something because watermelon, not good. So yes, it always goes fast.
It does go fast.
Yeah.
Go
You guys are a
vote
lot
for
of fun.
Cedar. Vote for Cedar.
Yes,
in
vote
the
for
Dragon
Cedar.
Awards. Oh, that's your book
Oh.
again.
Chopped spiced ham mixed with lima beans.
No, seriously, go vote for Cedar. She deserves
Go
this.
vote for Cedar. Go vote in the Dragon Awards because
Yes.
the more
Vote
people
in
vote,
general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been posting the link all over the place for voting because we just need to do that. So,
Yes. Voting is important.
And y'all have a good week. Hopefully we'll get in back on Thursday.
oh, we should.
He
yeah.
should be back Thursday.
He hadn't killed somebody before then.
Well, he's got to turn up because he's got a Spurgle introduction to write.
Yes, he does.
Which means he may not be in the shop.
He has got,
Every time he walks through the door, it's like, "Have you written the damn thing yet?" So,
well, he's got another one to write too. The Eat Cows.
yep, he's working on. He's actually been working on those stories. So,
Yes.
Anyway.
we're not pestering him because he's getting it done. So,
Right.
But I need the introduction for Spurgle. So,
Okay. So remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we'll see y'all later.
See you Thursday.
And yes, I'll post it on my blog too. Bye.